Iowa looks to bounce back and make the tourney after going 19-15 last season with a second round loss in the NIT. I'm going to go over some film concepts on both the offensive and defensive side of what could be successful and what might give them issues this season. Now, Iowa is known for being very successful on offense. It's what they do, and they're also known for playing fast. They were in the 96% in terms of amount of possessions ran in transition, and then they were in the 98th percentile of efficiency, aka they were in transition a lot and they were really efficient at it. Now, there's going to be an example here, a guy like Payton Sandfort, he's going to be able to grab and go, and a lot of guys on Iowa are capable of doing that. And the common theme is you're going to have, and it is for most teams, you're going to have somebody running to the weak side corner, somebody to the weak side wing, you're going to have a big rim running, and then the other either big or wing kind of trailing up at the top. And so here, Freeman just gets out ahead of everybody, and Sandfort's going to see that. Once he's here, I mean, you can see Freeman putting his hand up, and then Sandfort's just going to get him. There's going to be nobody back protecting the rim, and he gets the dunk. Now with Iowa, you also always have to kind of be aware of the shooters, especially in transition. And so again here, Sandfort's going to grab, he's going to be able to go. It's not always him, but he does fight down there a lot for boards well. And this time he's going to throw it up ahead. So sometimes it's dribbling, but by passing it ahead, I mean, the ball is a pass, and look, there's 28 seconds left on the shot clock. And now from there, again, Freeman's going to be running. You're going to have another guy kind of trailing, and then there should be guys filling in this weak side as they come up. And now, remember Sandfort, he's going to be the one that threw this initial pass up here, right? He's going to be the one that threw this. So he's going to be the one trailing, and then you're going to have weak side here, weak side here. With Sandfort trailing, defense is all focused on getting down, finding a guy. Nobody picks up the trailer, and now Sandfort's going to get a wide open three. So when Iowa does get in the half court, their offense is predicated on kind of free motion and movement and being able to just move off ball. Now there's rules within what they do, but it's more of a free-flowing read and react type system that they have the guys just to be able to do. And so one part of that is going to be the ability to cut off ball, and that's something that they do super, super well. So you're going to see here, ball's up the top. Dix is going to throw to the wing, and this could potentially set up a screen, like an off-ball screen here where Sandfort drives, a pick and roll, and that's going to be more of an attacking the closeout here by Sandfort. And now you're going to see Perkins is sort of setting a screen right here on Dix, setting a back screen, but the timing on the cuts is really good. Dix is not like just full sprinting to the rim already. He's making sure that his guy kind of gets hit. He's letting this defender, the low man, step up and develop. And so now Wall's going to stay out here defensively, and that's just going to leave this little drop off for Dix, who's able to finish at the rim. If you're enjoying, please like and subscribe. There is going to be other Iowa preview content out, which will be linked in the description. The big men, like Owen Freeman, also kind of utilize a lot of these cuts, and we're going to look at a play where they actually compound 2 cuts in a row. This is a common thing for Iowa to have Freeman up at the top of the key, try to kind of flow the ball around, see if there's movement. Now as they flow into what could be a handoff here, since the defense is overplaying, right, you see that right there that they're overplaying, he's just going to cut back door. And so now he cuts back door, and once that happens, it's going to put the defense in entire rotation. So this back door is great. Now it's putting all the pressure on that defender right here to be able to slide down and help protect the rim. But along with that, Freeman knows that that's happening, so now he's diving to the rim. So again, just a lot of read and react, a lot of off-ball movement, and it's supposed to put defenders in binds like this. So now you can make that extra kind of dump off to Freeman, who's able to go up, finish the and one. Payton Sandfort returning to Iowa gives them a huge, huge boost. He's going to be one of the best scorers in the entire conference, and with that comes a lot of defensive attention. Now, he had it with him last season as well, knowing that teams really, really had to guard him, and especially from the perimeter, right? He's such a good three-point shooter that he's able to just knock down shots and draw defenses out there. But what he's also good at is cutting. And so right here, you're going to see kind of a double high ball screen. Sandfort is just kind of looking to slip this out, and he's going to try to get like a flare screen almost at times. Defense doesn't bite on anything, and so then it's immediately going to flow into this back screen. So we're watching a little more full speed. Now this back screen happens. Nothing happens there, but again, just kind of read and reacting. So now as this happens, he has the option to come back off of this. It's called Ricky action, where he kind of goes to back screen and then immediately turns around. His defender's thinking that. You can see how he's playing up top. So Sandfort realizes that. He's like, okay, let me just cut all the way back door then. And now he's going to get a wide open layup. Another example of off-ball movement that Iowa runs a ton is these kind of off-ball screens. Now, for a lot of teams, off-ball screens is purely pin downs, and Iowa definitely has those within their offense, but it's not the only thing. This play right here, you're going to have Dix up at the top, throw it to Freeman on the wing, and then this is kind of just flowing into seeing if Freeman can take Edey one-on-one. Edie does a solid job. Freeman doesn't have anywhere to go. But now you have these secondary actions. And so as that's all happening, notice that there's movement out on the perimeter. So Perkins is going to cut. He's going to try to get a look there. Okay, Cricky's going to be like, I need to come over here, set a screen. And now there's another screen here. Bringing, with this being Sandfort, Heidi cannot help off of him at all. And that's going to allow Dix to really come off of this screen, curl, and now get to a pull-up and get the shot to go. And again, we have to talk about Sandfort when we talk about these kind of off-ball actions, just the gravity that he pulls with defenders and the ability to score the ball. It's just going to be very, very good. This is out of baseline, out of bounds play. Sandfort kind of runs almost like a rub screen right there. And now after that, as the ball comes up to the top of the key, you can already see they're setting up this staggered pin down right here for Sandfort to come off. Now Sandfort can hard curl, he can kind of medium curl, or he can kind of try to flare out to the top of the key for a 3. And he's just going to be reading his defender. So right here, defender stays with him, so he knows that he's going to have to probably try to curl it a bit more. And that's exactly what he does. So now he's going to curl, kind of flowing almost to the strong side as he does. And I mean, he catches and shoots, and he knows, like, he has such good just kind of spatial awareness that he knows, okay, I have to go up right away because defenders are going to be able to close in. So now he gets that shot to be good. Now, Iowa doesn't always run a ton of sets. They do have a lot of free-flowing offense, but there are kind of sets that they do run, and most of them are also predicated on multiple actions, a lot of movements, and just trying to get shooters open. This is going to be one of them. So it's going to start in a horn set. You have 2 guys in the corners, 2 at the elbow extended, and then a guy at the top of the key with the ball. Going to come off the Sandfort screen, but Sandfort is just slipping this. So I'll rewind. He's just not actually going to make contact. He's going to ghost this screen, and all he's doing is wanting to flare out to the other side. Now, the reason he sets this is sometimes there'll be miscommunication between these 2 defenders, and then they're already at an advantage. Now, the way Perkins kind of drew this out, defender's able to get back, but what you're going to see happen is as Sandfort comes here, he's going to flow into, this is called wiper action. So he's going to come off this flare screen and then immediately come back the other way. And that's exactly what happens. So now his defender has to chase all the way around. Sandfort's able to step into his 3 and knock it down. Now, Iowa's offense didn't have like a ton of pick and roll relative to kind of the college basketball norm, but a guy like Brock Harding, who's going to be coming into his sophomore season, could be a guy that they say, hey, go and run some more pick and rolls. Even Drew Thelwell, the transfer from Morehead State, he's a guy that can be comfortable running pick and rolls. And so do they run them more? I don't know, but I think they have the option if they want it. And this is going to be an example here from Harding. So he's going to be able to catch, and now nothing really happens. Okay, we're going to flow into pick and roll. Freeman does a great job of slipping here, and I think Freeman is part of the equation for the pick and roll of he's a big mobile target that moves well, has good hands, and can finish around the rim. So he times this well, and the reason he's slipping this is because he knows Penn State's going to be kind of up in this hedge. So now there's going to be 2 defenders up here, and it creates a numbers game on the back side. Now, Penn State does not help at all. Brock Harding also probably gets hit in the face, it looks like right here. So now as Harding comes back and recovers, this is just a filthy pass. Left hand through all the defenders, puts Ace Baldwin was out of rotation there, and now they're able to get the bucket. Now, as we've kind of looked, a lot of the shot diet that Iowa takes is from the mid-range. That's what it was last year, and they have good enough shooters that I think they could have a higher three-point shot diet, but a lot of their actions and what they do kind of forces them into those mid-range shots, which, again, they have dudes that can knock them down, so it isn't the worst thing. But I think one way to also get more three-pointers would be running more pick and roll. You have a guy in Brock Harding who can now create for others. You have a guy in Freeman who demands respect on the roll. And so on a play like this where, okay, 2 defenders are up. Last time, remember, there was no help at all. Now if you have a guy dig in, because Freeman is such a good roller, and this is pretty closely after, I think, that last play. Now there's going to be wide open kickouts like right here. Sandfort, potentially, if he rises, he could get a look. But I think there's just more opportunities to get three-pointers if they do run some more pick and roll. Now, we do have to talk about the defense. Iowa has not really had good defenses for the past few seasons at least, and last year was no different. And I think there's maybe potential for some more upside this year. We'll talk about that in a minute. But a lot of their concepts just kind of, they're not bad concepts. It's just honestly poor execution. So this is going to be an example here. And one thing that they really struggled at was allowing shots at the rim. They were one of the worst teams in terms of allowing actual attempts at the rim. And a lot of it's because of perimeter guards, but you can look at right here. So Alec is going to get it. And the other reason that they struggled is the Big Ten is a big post-up conference. They just are. They're willing to throw it to bigs, let them go to work, and Iowa really struggled defending the post. And so Zal gets it here. He's just going to get one-on-one to a spot. As we kind of rewind, Cricky's going to dig a tiny bit, but there's not a ton of help really. There's a lot of standing around. One-on-one, they're going to stay home, and that just kind of allowed a lot of post-ups to go in. Another example of them allowing a shot at the rim comes out of pick and roll. They were in the bottom 2 percentile of efficiency last season in terms of defending the pick and roll. Now, it wasn't ran the most against them, but when it was ran, it was generally going to be a bucket. This example right here, we're going to show, so it's going to be an empty-sided pick and roll, so nobody in this kind of strong side corner over here for Oklahoma. High ball screen, Freeman's going to be in more of a drop coverage, but you can just see already, like that initial spot right here, he's just going to be stuck. And so I don't know exactly if they were supposed to be like help elsewhere, and you're going to see Iowa doesn't always help a ton. They try to like leave it a little bit. There isn't a ton of help. The only help is one slot away. They're both going to be kind of slow getting there. I think Freeman being able to improve defensively against pick and roll is going to be a big thing. But now, drive all the way to the rim. Brock Harding's the low man. He's not going to be able to help. And it's just kind of up to whether Freeman can really protect the rim or not. So one thing that I think should give them an upgrade defensively is the addition of Seydou Traore from Manhattan this offseason. Ben Krikke is gone, and although he was very good offensively, I just don't think he was quite fit enough defensively, or fit well enough defensively to really do anything positively on that end for Iowa. It put them in a lot of binds, and just they had to try to do a bunch of different stuff. Traore is the opposite, where he doesn't have the most polished offensive game, but he has a real motor defensively with good offensive upside. And then once you put him in an Iowa system, he can probably figure it out. But this is going to be an example right here. So it's going to be him. He's going to be screened. I mean, he's on ball, but you're going to see he's going to be able to get through still, and he has the ability to help protect the rim. Now, it's still going to be up to Freeman to be probably that primary rim protector, but Traore is going to be somebody that can help off the wing. He can help off the corner, or he can kind of just stick in front of the dude, go up, and help protect the rim. So now getting back to Iowa and how they defended the pick and roll, this is going to be another example right here of it. So Minnesota swinging, and then they're going to get the ball up top. And you're going to see this high pick and roll right here. Now, the first clip that I showed, remember Freeman was in drop coverage, or in theory was in drop coverage where he's supposed to kind of scoot back. Iowa does have their big kind of either at the level or hedge a lot, and that's in itself is not a bad thing whatsoever. But what it forces is you have to have weak side help, right? And Iowa in general doesn't always send a ton of weak side help. And that you're going to see right here, that's an issue. I mean, nobody at all helps. I'm going to rewind a little bit and show full speed. Like, comes off, and these two, neither of them are helping at all until it's way too late. And now Payne is already catching at the rim. Like, if you're going to run that hedge coverage, you have to have that weak side help. And Iowa's system in itself just doesn't always have it. And that's what causes a lot of issues, I think. Another example here where they actually do help. And so most of the time, I don't think that they send a ton of help. But it's not like they never did, right? This play right here, you're going to see a high pick and roll. Freeman's going to be in that hard hedge like I just talked about last play. Krikke does a good job of coming over and helping here. Notice no help at all peeled in from here, so it leaves it completely on Krikke 2-on-1. Freeman gets caught up here probably a bit too long for what they wanted. So now Krikke has to sort of wait till Freeman can get back. Freeman doesn't get back in time. And so just a lot of the timing, even if Iowa's like in the right place per se, the timing just isn't always great. And then I also think defensively having Traore here over Krikke is going to help. Traore probably has more athleticism to try to be able to rotate out and contest this. Krikke just didn't quite have it, so I think there's a lot of upside. It's just Freeman and Traore especially are really going to have to kind of gel and work together defensively. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and click here for even more Iowa preview content.